Sweet. Cool. That was awesome. Nice turn.
That was sweet.
It's moving a little wide. The visibility, it's kind of hard to see the road.
Dude, poor car. The styling is the worst enemy of the driving. Hey, look at all these cool lights, accent lights and
I
everything.
just changed the light color.
Oh, nice.
The color scheme.
Oh, cool. The mood lighting,
There's many options.
ambient lighting. Oh yeah, my Audi chauffeur car had that. It was a hit with the customers.
Oh,
Sweet, that was fun. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, so I've got the 2020 Camaro SS here, and I'm about to take it on the most beautiful stretch of road ever, Little Cottonwood Canyon in Utah. And we're at the beginning of foliage season here, and the leaves are changing a pretty decent amount, and it's looking gorgeous. So I drove the car about 23 miles so far, and it's quite a beast. For about 43 grand, it's a pretty impressive package, and I'm definitely liking it so far. Well, let's get going up the canyon, shall we? Alrighty. Turn the AC down. I am in a sweet car today, an American car, the first naturally aspirated car I've ever tested on the channel. The closest thing has been the Hellcat, which was just supercharged a couple months ago. And yeah, coming out of the Hellcat into this, certainly less power, but still a lot of fun. This car is pretty well powered with 455 horse. I am at about 5,000 feet elevation right now, and I'll be going up to about 9,000 feet. So not ideal for a naturally aspirated V8, obviously, but that's okay. This car has nice ground clearance, by the way. It's not too low. All right, put it in manual mode. So I'm going up the most beautiful road here, Little Cottonwood Canyon, and a beautiful day for it, just a little hot, 95 degrees out in late September. Pretty much exactly a year and 2 days since I reviewed the Tesla Model 3 Performance, and things are much better now. I have a better job now. As you can see, I'm back in Utah, no more California. These windows are a pain. The auto up and the auto down are really sensitive. Usually a cop right here. Not today. So this car's got GM's 10-speed automatic, and I'm pretty impressed with it so far. Quite comparable to the ZF 8-speed as far as shift speed and paddle response and smoothness and everything. Feels great. It has sort of tall gearing for a 10-speed. It has just normal gearing, like 60 miles per hour in second gear. So it's kind of strange that it has a 10-speed, and some people have said that the extra speeds are a little unnecessary, but it certainly performs pretty well. So I'm not sure how they are with long-term reliability, but so far it feels like a really nice transmission. So there is some construction, actually a lot of construction going on in the canyon right now, so that might screw up my filming, but we'll do the best we can. Hopefully the cameras hang in there for a long time. This car's got a lot of driver aids. It just alerted me about this Chevy Impala in front of me, and thought I might hit it. It's definitely well equipped. This is the 2SS, so it basically seems to have all of everything that the other trim levels do, and then maybe some other stuff. I do believe it has a transmission cooler, a differential cooler, stuff like that. And yeah, for about 43 grand, it's definitely quite a car. So we're off to a bad start so far with the traffic, but we'll see what we can do. Thank you. Yes, I made it up. So we're slowly ascending the canyon here. We've got thousands of feet to go. Hopefully traffic opens up at some point, and hopefully I don't get a speeding ticket. We're just starting the fall foliage, so basically my favorite time of the year. good work over here. Something's rattling over on the left side. Oh, stop. So I'm just going to mention this is a Camaro, and this is my point of reference for a car with what I consider slightly bad visibility, or at least a tiny greenhouse. The windows in this car are so small, I could barely get my camera hooked up to the window over there. There's hardly even room for the suction cup. That's how small these tiny little windows are. And the view out the windshield isn't much better. I'm 6 feet tall. I've got the seat all the way down to the floor, as low as it'll go. And my head's basically touching the ceiling. Not quite, but pretty close. And unfortunately, I'm seeing the roof line quite prominently. It's very similar to the view out the Toyota Supra that I recently reviewed. Very similar. And unfortunately, below that, it doesn't get much better. These little gauge covers, the little awning for the gauges, or whatever the hell that's called, that rises up really high. It kind of gives you a sort of fighter jet feeling, I guess, a cockpit sort of feeling, but it also means that there's even less windshield for me to look out. I guess that's where the heads-up display components are housed, so that's part of the reason, I guess. But I'm not a heads-up display kind of guy, or head-up display, whatever it's called. I never remember to look at it, so it might as well not be there. So, yeah, the visibility out of this car, it's extremely ridiculous, but I mean, when you're actually driving, it's not too big of a deal, I guess. Uh-oh. If we can make it past this one relatively quickly, we'll be in the clear. So this car certainly has a lot of low-end torque, being a 6.2 liter, but it's coming from the Hellcat, which had that plus the supercharger, it's just not quite the same. But of course, there is plenty of low-end power, and it feels great. It certainly will burn the tires in first gear quite easily. This car is 275 width tires on it, at least in the rear, and they hook up nicely, and second gear doesn't have any spin really. Ultimately, this should be a shorter review. I don't have that much to say about this car. The 10-speed auto is nice, feels great actually, feels comparable to the ZF8 speed, and it has these cheap plastic paddle shifters which don't have a great feel to them, but they don't feel bad, so they're fine for an inexpensive car. The steering wheel is a good effort. It's small, which I like. It's a nice small wheel, has a flat bottom, and it's a good looking wheel, but unfortunately the 9-3 grip, not quite right. It's similar to the wheel in the Honda Civic Type R, very similar actually. It just bulges out a little too much here. It doesn't have a large enough space for your thumbs. And I have small hands, and even then my thumbs just don't fit here comfortably. And pretty spacious interior. My legs have good room. Overall, not a bad place to be. And I say spacious, although my head is close to the ceiling, but there's a nice sunroof up here, and it's a good day for that. Got this fake leather material on the very top of the door sill, as if you were going to rest your arm way up there, which no one would do. And then it's got the textured plastic here, and this interior actually is really nicely designed. It has this ridge which wraps all the way around the dash, from the door all the way around the car, and it looks nice. Gives it a nice look. It's all fairly cheap GM style plastic, but it's not bad. One criticism though, this car does have a slightly strange odor to it, similar to like a low-end Chrysler vehicle. It just has a plasticky smell to it, and it doesn't smell bad. You can kind of smell the fake leather, or whatever these seats are made of, and it's not bad. But on a hot day, it does kind of have a gross new car smell to it. But that's what happens with cheap cars. And now onto these seats. Of course, this car can be optioned with, I believe, a set of Recaro legitimate seats, but these are just the standard seats, and they're not terrible for what they're designed for. Of course, there's virtually no bolstering on these, just enough to hold you, and when you're taking a turn, it is just enough to hold you in the seat. So it's like your conventional sporty touring seat, the same exact seat basically as like a Nissan 370Z non-Nismo. And yeah, there's hardly any thigh support, but just enough, so it holds me okay. It's fine. And for people who eat the standard American diet and are quite overweight, like most of this country, they could fit in these seats and with little discomfort, I imagine. All right, hopefully we get this green ASAP, and I'll let this thing rip soon enough. Hello. All right, over in manual mode. This car does everything I want it to do as far as the paddle shifters. If you click it 3 times, it'll go down 3 gears, and if you hold it for a good long time, it'll go down to its lowest possible gear, basically. Sometimes even a little bit too low. But it doesn't disappoint you as far as getting you access to the power. This thing is ready to go. Click. It is pretty quick. I've been driving this in track mode. I'm not sure exactly what that does. I'm also not sure if this car has a Magna Ride setup or if it has conventional springs in the back, but I can tell you it feels really good over bumps and seems to handle very well. I haven't been able to try it yet. Ooh, C4 Corvette. I love the sound of this LT2 V8. It is freaking great. I love pushrod engines, and Chevy has been doing them for a long time, doing very well. I had a box truck with a 350 in it that I sold a year ago, and the sound of that engine was just great. And yeah, good old Chevy small block. Whoa, this guy hit a big rock. Good thing it didn't get flung up and hit me. Good thing we're going 20 miles per hour. But yeah, the sound of this engine could just put me to sleep. And it looks like it revs to about 6,500 here. Pretty good. Yeah, I can already feel the altitude slowing the car down, but it still sounds great. The induction noise is freaking awesome. The induction noise is wonderful. This car has a camera screen instead of a rear view mirror, but during the daytime, there's always a glare on it, and it winds up reflecting the actual image behind you anyway, even though it's supposed to be a little televised screen. So it doesn't quite do its job in the daytime, but it seems like a useful feature. Yes, it is pretty cool. Soon enough, I'll be able to pass these people. I'm only going 30, but this thing does not have much body roll. It's in track mode. It feels really tight. The steering feel is actually quite nice. Initially, I was thinking it was too light when I was going down the road, but now that I'm putting it through some turns, it actually has some decent weight to it, and pretty good just feel. I can tell what the wheels are doing, and it's communicating with me pretty well. It feels better than the Hellcat steering overall. Just a little more in touch with the car. Got some aspen trees up here just turning yellow, whatever type of tree that is. This car gives you a nice little pop when you downshift or when you shift hard or let off the gas. Gives you a nice pop. Sounds a lot like someone's drumming on a garbage can, like I used to do in drumline. Sounds very much like a garbage can being hit with a stick. So here we are. A turbo or supercharger would be nice to boost my power at this altitude, but it is a really pure experience just having a naturally aspirated GM V8 up there. So cool. Of course, the ZL1 would be more my taste. I need more power overall, but this engine is a gem. Third gear. Effortless. Woman with baby, sorry. So this car is not the fastest, but it sounds so damn good, I forgive it for the lack of horsepower. Yes, it sounds great. Oh yeah. And it goes through a corner spectacularly. Oh! Got some oversteer on that. not sure why it broke loose like that. Less grip than I thought. That's funny. Second gear. Don't fall off the cliff. Sick. Yeah, the transmission's great. No complaints. It might be a tiny bit slow on the upshifts, but that's fine. About the same as the ZF8 speed. It's quiet. It's a little too quiet. I'm sure from the outside it sounds great, but it's actually pretty well insulated in here. It's a fairly quiet cabin. Oh yeah. Gives you a nice pop when you shift at redline. This thing's definitely slow at these altitudes, at this altitude. But it's okay. It's still pretty good. You can certainly use all the power, unlike the Hellcat. Although that had such tall gearing, I couldn't do much with it anyway. This has normal gearing. If anything, it's a little bit long for 10 speeds. No, my favorite spot is closed. The Cliff Lodge. What the hell? Why can't I go down there? How about I go around the other way? The best part about driving a modern automatic transmission car with a fast shifting transmission is the noises, the popping and farting noises that you get in between shifts on upshifts. Let's see if we can hear it any better with the window open. The auto up is so annoying. Oh. Wait, is that a... No, that's not it. Where's the road? Is that the road? Nope, that's not it. Damn it. Well, I'm lost. I'm going to shut the cameras off and go to my favorite spot and film some revs, and we'll take a look at this car closer up. I hope the cameras actually got all that, because that was a hell of a long ride. Alright, so I got the 2020 Camaro SS up to Snowbird here. Beautiful day, a little hot. But yeah, it's a fun car. It certainly is. I would modify the exhaust to make it louder. I would ideally do heads and cams, or at least, I'm sorry, a cam and bolt-on mods. I mean, I haven't done much research on these, but I'm sure that would do well. So yeah, for 43,000 bucks, it's certainly a great platform and has a lot of nice features and a lot of good stuff going on. And I like it a lot. It's a decent looking car. I'm not a Camaro guy by any means, but it's not bad. It looks good in real life. I wasn't wild about it in photos. Of course, it's got a little bit of a tire gap here. Could be lowered a little bit, but it's got some large brakes on it, and overall it does what it intends to do pretty nicely. I'm just at too high of an altitude to enjoy it to its full potential. There's a box in there. That's not good. Dang it, there we go. Oh yeah. 455 horsepower, 460 foot-pounds of torque, is that correct? Something like that. Nice and clean under here. Man, what an engine. So compact. There's so much room in front of it. Just endless amounts of room. Just sounds so nice. So reliable, so simple. I love it. Cool. With a nice functional little hood vent as well. All right, well, back down the canyon I go. All right, I took my photos, got my little interior shots. This interior, like I've said, it's pretty good. It's put together with cheap materials, of course. It has to be. I've always liked GM interiors, actually. All right. So let's get down the canyon. Hopefully there's less traffic and less bullshit, and hopefully I can actually test out the handling a bit more. Damn, auto up down window. I never get it right. Oh shit, I forgot I can't go this way. Maybe I can. I'll spin around. The steering is nice and stiff as I turn it around here. Oh yeah. Let's hear this thing next to the Subaru. Here we go. Ah, this car's too quiet. Too quiet. Also too slow at this altitude, no offense, car. Let's try a little first gear action. Shut off the AC for a second. Well, yeah, like I said, it's not fast, but it sounds good. I wish the exhaust would pop more. And I am getting comfortable in the car. I feel pretty good in here now. Although it truly is a strange view. The hood looks nice. I can see a little too much of it, if anything, but it has a nice shape to it. And this car is a nice shade of blue. I forget what it's called, but it looks nice and blue. 82 degrees up here. I've got the ventilated seat on, and it works all right, but it doesn't work super well. It does have a heated steering wheel also, which I like. All right, here we go. Man, this makes me want to buy something with a naturally aspirated V8 again. I miss my E34. So, track mode, I'm not sure if it makes a difference, but this car, it does handle quite well. Stays very flat, very little body roll, very stiff, seems really nice. And like I've said, it actually has nice feeling through the wheel, so the steering feels good. It's confidence inspiring, very. Yep, the trees are just starting to change up here at the high altitude and looking so beautiful. Third gear. Garbage can noise. Second gear. Something about these tires throws this car off. I noticed the right one is brand new, the left one is worn out. So I think someone got a flat, and I think the new tire is fucking me up. Woo! I love that pop on the upshifts. Yeah, when I get this car like leaned in, I can feel the rear end is not quite happy. That's why it spun earlier in third gear. So, yeah, I think that it's just that one tire being... New tires are not good. I've always said so. They have too much tread. And I think that one, if anything, it feels unbalanced or something, having like 8 30-seconds on the right and 2 30-seconds on the left. That's not good. So, I think that's throwing me off a tiny bit. I will keep that in mind for the rest of the day. It's a shame though, because this car is a beast. But yeah, it's making the rear end not feel stable, so unless it's always like that. It's a sick car. It's one of my favorite hiking spots. Gotta love it. And like I said with the Hellcat, it's almost Tesla-like, because as quickly as you can press the accelerator pedal, it begins to accelerate with no lag. Of course, this has 250 foot-pounds, I'm sorry, 200 foot-pounds less torque than the Hellcat, so not as much shove, especially at this altitude. But it is wonderful, instant, naturally aspirated, smooth power, and of course, being pushrod, it has the extra low-end grunt, which makes a car like this extra fun. So it's a hell of a power plant, and pretty impressive transmission too. Not bad. Beep, 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 beep. Whoa, the rear seat just folded itself down. That box is going to come hit me now. It is a very small rear passenger area. Virtually no leg room, like literally none. The back of my seat is 2 inches from the rear seat, so that sucks. But you could fit someone in here who's about 5'2", and they might do all right. One time I climbed into the back of a Mustang during a test drive, trying to be nice, not realizing just how bad it is back there, and had the worst test drive ever with a father and son in the front. I was being way too nice. That's why I sucked as a car salesman back then. But I was also in the back of something like a 2014 ZL1 Camaro. My friend Kyle, shout out to Kyle. Camaros are pretty cool. I rode in the back of his with our buddy Boone riding shotgun one time, and hit some decent speeds, and that thing was a beast with the LSA 650 horsepower, I believe. And the Camaro rear seats are nowhere that I shall go ever again. I shall never go there again, but you can fit tiny people. So something slightly strange about this car. It almost reminds me of old school GM with the like the vacuum controlled climate control, or whatever the hell it was. Basically, the RPMs could dictate the RPMs of the climate control of the fan and stuff. Very weird. But this thing seems to make an RPM dependent little clickety noise, like a fan spinning, but it doesn't necessarily coincide with the climate control, and it comes from this area. I don't think it's just engine noise, but something makes a noise over here. I don't mind. If anything, it adds some personality or something. Oh, I love it! This car is virtually brand new. It's got 7,088 miles on it, and everything feels impressively tight, actually. I heard one little rattling noise earlier, and just now I heard a tiny rattle from the windshield or something, but overall it's quite tight. Pretty impressed with it. Nice fit and finish. If anything, it seems like everything fits together a little better than the Hellcat, even though this is a much cheaper car, for this trim level at least. It is interesting having the camera for the rear view mirror. I'm watching a guy pretty close up in his focus. Oh yeah, that's the guy who I passed kind of rudely earlier. I guess that didn't work out for me after all. But yeah, I can see everything back there in quite a lot of detail, and it's kind of fun. I'm running as soon as my feet hit the ground. You can't push me, 'cause you don't know what you found. Oh, come on! This thing's really loud and jolty when it goes into gear. Modern cars shouldn't have to go through reverse neutral drive very loudly and annoyingly to get into drive. It should just kind of go in there. This car doesn't care about that. Not a fancy shifter. Whatever, this isn't important. I'm just blabbing. I'll edit this later tonight, I reckon. Yes, sir. Again, I hear a fan-like weird noise over here. Something's spinning. and I can hear it too much. Something is making an extra noise that no other car seems to do. Weird. Didn't get to put this thing through too many turns, but I will later on. Unfortunately, I won't get it on video, but hardly anyone watches these videos anyway, so for now, man, I avoided the dust cloud. That's a blessing. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that excavator. Oh yeah, they better not mess with my favorite rock over here. You know what I'm saying? Alright, there it is. Big line of motherfuckers going up the canyon. I'm gonna pull over in just a minute here, shut off the cameras, and continue on with my day. I'm gonna hang out with my buddy Ross, show him what V8 pony cars are all about, and then hopefully get this thing up to Park City and have Stuart drive it. But I won't film that. He does such crazy shit. We're gonna crash something one of these days, so I'll just stop filming. Let me do a little downshift. I'm gonna hold the downshifter. It's in 6th right now. All the way into 2nd. Oh yeah, very nice. It's faster down here. We're down at 5,000 feet. It is fast. It's incredible how much elevation kills a non-turbocharged car. Cars with a turbo hardly feel it. Not quite as much. Let's pull into the shade, shall we? Alright. Gonna yank the cameras off the tiny little windows. Let's see what kind of fun I can have with this for the rest of the day. It's been fun. Peace. Alright, let's give this thing a SAM score. Category, Powertrain. Transmission. This transmission is as good as the ZF 8-speed. 9. Output. This LT1 makes very respectable power and great pushrod torque. It also got 13 miles per gallon. 7. Personality. Again, pushrod V8 sounds so mean, I love it. 8. Reliability. Famously reliable, only random failures can hurt this beast. 9. Category, Chassis. Capability. This car is built on GM's Alpha platform and feels great. 8. Fun. This car is great fun, but the visibility truly messes you up. 8. Safety. The Alpha platform is modern and is IIHS small overlap approved. 7. Driver inputs. I don't love the wheel or paddle shifters, but everything is decent. 7. Category. Value. Maintenance. This Chevy should be very cheap to run. 9. Cost of entry. At $43,000, this is a great pony car and will get cheaper. 10. Long term. Though not as special as the ZL1, this 2SS should always be loved. 6. Fit and finish. For a cheap car, this thing is impressively tight, for now. 6. Styling. Innovation. Camaros have looked the same for a couple generations. This one is a light evolution. 5. Longevity. This car may look dated in future years. 5. Wow factor. This car is nothing special out on the road. A good thing, really. 4. Personality. I'm not a Camaro guy historically, but this car does have a pretty distinct and aggressive personality. 8 out of 10. That all adds up to a score of 116. Pretty darn good. Thanks for watching and happy motoring.